All right, let's jump right into this explainer. Smart thermostats always promises two massive benefits, right? Incredible energy savings and that effortless set-it-and-forget-it comfort. But here is the hard truth that most people completely miss, and honestly, it's exactly why your energy bill might not be shrinking despite having that expensive piece of tech hanging on your wall. Both of those promised benefits completely depend on getting your initial setup absolutely perfect. Today, we're unpacking exactly how a proper physical installation, highly accurate temperature readings, and well-tuned seasonal schedules can literally eliminate heating and cooling waste all year long. I mean, we spend hundreds of dollars expecting these devices to perform magic, but without the right playbook, they're really just shiny digital thermometers.
So, here is our roadmap for today. We're going to cover the foundation of a smart setup, how to schedule around real life, optimizing for winter and spring, conquering summer and fall, and finally, an essential every season checklist.
Let's kick things off with Section 1, the foundation of smart setup, getting it right before you program. Okay, there are 4 crucial physical and digital steps you absolutely must take first. Step 1, you've got to confirm your HVAC compatibility. That means double-checking your heating type, the system voltage, and wiring labels so you don't accidentally fry your control board. Step 2, placement is everything. You have to place the unit where it measures the true indoor ambient temperature. Step 3, get that Wi-Fi connected and make sure it is a rock-solid connection. If your router is tucked away in some distant basement, your thermostat is going to constantly drop the connection, which totally kills your remote control access and those crucial energy alerts. And Step 4, calibrate the temperature against a trusted reference thermometer. Why does this matter so much? Well, a sensor that's off by just 2 degrees can actually force your HVAC system to run 10% longer every single cycle. That is a massive amount of wasted energy over a year.
The source material we're looking at has this fantastic point that just busts a major myth wide open. It notes that many issues that look like software problems are actually just bad sensor locations. Think about it. We love to blame glitchy software when the house is inexplicably freezing, but if you place your device near direct sunlight, right next to a drafty exterior door, or directly above a radiating heat source, you've completely ruined its accuracy. It's like having a stubborn roommate who insists it's boiling hot in the apartment when everyone else is shivering. It literally doesn't matter how smart the software is if the hardware is feeding it corrupted data from a fundamentally bad spot.
Moving on to Section 2, scheduling around real life. This is all about making the tech match your actual routine. When it comes to scheduling strategies, there's always a debate between time-based schedules versus auto-detection and geofencing. You should absolutely always start with time-based schedules. Begin with a highly predictable, simple routine. Set comfortable temperatures for the exact hours you're typically awake and at home, and then widen that temperature range when you're normally asleep or away at work. Let that run for a week or two just to establish a solid baseline. Only after that should you even think about layering in the complex features. Things like auto-detection or geofencing can be incredibly finicky at first. They can easily misread when you're actually home based on where your phone is. For instance, taking a quick walk down the street to grab the mail, or just leaving your phone on the charger in your bedroom while you watch TV downstairs really shouldn't trigger a massive energy-draining AC shift. So start simple and introduce the smart stuff slowly.
Now, before we dive into the specific seasons, you have to check the critical system limits in your app. These settings are basically the unsung heroes of your smart home because they actively protect your incredibly expensive HVAC equipment from heavy wear and tear. By setting minimum runtimes, you prevent short cycling. That is, that annoying, highly destructive habit where the system turns on and off every 5 minutes. Short cycling will absolutely wreck the motor in your compressor, and that's thousands of dollars down the drain. Setting safety constraints further reduces overall equipment wear by keeping the system within manufacturer guidelines. And establishing maximum set points ensures you cap extreme energy use, so a rogue app command doesn't leave your heater blasting at 80 degrees while you're out of town for the weekend.
So, with our physical foundation and scheduling playbook firmly locked in, we have to ask the big question. How do you adapt your thermostat to handle shifting seasons? I mean, your house in January behaves completely differently than your house in July. As the weather outside swings, your thermostat strategy needs to completely flip too. Let's get into Section 3, optimizing winter and spring to beat the cold and manage those fast weather swings. For your winter strategy, the overwhelming temptation is to aggressively drop the temperature when you leave for work just to save a few bucks. Don't do it. Aggressive temperature drops take way too long to recover from. Your furnace has to work in absolute overdrive to heat up icy walls and furniture, which actually increases your system's overall runtime and costs you more money in the long run. Rely on moderate temperature setbacks instead. You'll also want to leverage your thermostat's adaptive recovery features so it gently brings the heat up, ensuring your house is perfectly warm right when your alarm clock goes off. And here's a great insider secret. Monitor your indoor humidity. Dry winter air actively evaporates moisture right off your skin, which makes you feel physically colder than the room actually is. By bumping up the indoor humidity slightly, you stop that evaporation. It makes you feel incredibly cozy at a lower, much more efficient temperature. Now, spring brings those notoriously tricky should we heat or cool days. You might legitimately need the furnace running on a frosty morning and the AC blasting by a sunny afternoon. To handle this without burning through cash, slightly widen your acceptable temperature band during mild stretches. But most importantly, dive into your settings and enable the minimum time delay between heating and cooling mode changes. This is absolutely crucial because it stops your system from constantly fighting itself and frantically switching back and forth every hour. Also, check your app for an anti-overshoot option and turn that on. It's this brilliant little feature that turns the furnace off just before hitting your target temperature. It knows the residual hot air still sitting in your ductwork will carry the house the rest of the way without overshooting the mark.
All right, as things heat up, we hit Section 4, Conquering Summer and Fall. It's all about reducing cooling waste and handling chilly nights.
Your summer strategy should be entirely focused on pure efficiency. Priority number 1 is obviously preventing unnecessary cooling when the house is empty. But you really have to pay close attention to your pre-cool strategy. Look, every home has a completely different thermal mass. A house made of heavy brick holds on to daytime heat like a literal pizza oven and takes a long time to cool down. A modern wood frame house, that might cool off really rapidly. Tuning your pre-cool timing to your specific home's thermal mass is a total game changer for preventing energy waste. And here is a ridiculously simple but effective mechanical tip. Use your ceiling fans. Moving air creates a wind chill effect on your skin. That lets you maintain perfect human comfort even if your smart thermostat is set 2 or 3 degrees higher than normal.
Shifting into fall, your goal is really about smoothing out the transition. Just like spring, you're dealing with morning warmth versus sharp evening chill. Again, verify those mode-switching settings so the AC and heater aren't caught in some expensive tug-of-war. But here is the key difference for fall. Once that deep autumn weather actually sets in and outdoor temperatures finally stabilize, you want to gradually narrow your temperature range. Think of it like putting your thermostat on cruise control. Narrowing the band lets the system keep your home beautifully steady without having to make frequent jarring high-energy adjustments.
To wrap up this explainer, let's head into Section 5, the essential every season checklist. Let's consolidate everything into a simple routine. Think of this quick seasonal checklist in 2 buckets, physical and digital. Physically, walk around and make sure your sensors haven't been blocked. Did someone shove a bookshelf in front of a sensor? Is there a new draft from a poorly sealed window? Digitally, anytime you update your router or change a password, verify that Wi-Fi connectivity immediately so you don't lose your smart features. You also need to revisit your schedules monthly. Actually, this is incredibly important right after you get back from a vacation when your whole daily routine is completely out of whack. Always recalibrate the temperature if you notice a steady offset on a reference thermometer. And finally, double-check those system limits to protect your equipment from short cycling. If you pair a correct physical installation with this quick monthly checkup, your device is going to gather flawless data. Ultimately, it comes down to this. Is your smart thermostat working for you, or are you working for it? Once you dial in your specific winter and summer baselines, those messy spring and fall transitions practically handle themselves. That's because your device finally understands the unique thermal mass of how your specific house heats and cools. Taking control of these foundational and seasonal settings means you stop guessing, you stop fighting the app, and you finally start empowering your smart home to work incredibly efficiently for your unique life. But honestly, it makes you wonder, as these predictive algorithms gobble up more and more data, how long is it going to be before your own house knows your thermal preferences better than you do? Think about that for a minute. Thanks for hanging out for this explainer, and I'll catch you on the next one.